It's a sea of green and gold. The Matildas are back in town.
It's great to see another packed-out stadium.
Rasso winds up, and Rasso scores. And Caitlin Ford's rich goal-scoring form continues. Oh, Mary Fowler! What a goal from the Golden Girl.
And it's a goal Australia needed.
It's Matilda's night in the west of Sydney, Australia taking on Mexico from CommBank Stadium in Game 2 of this friendly series. Good evening from the west of Sydney, and Australia in need of a response after Mexico claimed a 1-0 win at McDonald Jones Stadium on Saturday. The light show in full effect out on the pitch, the spectators starting to flow in, and in the tunnel a picture of focus for Mexico. And has since gone on to amass 149 caps, going to 4 World Cups, 3 Olympics and 3 Asian Cups. She's had a decorated career for club, and tonight for country it will be cap 150. Band tonight, and this humble champion who has been part of the Matilda's journey for so many will be acknowledged tonight and would love nothing more than to score and to win to mark the occasion. Hayley Raso will be back in the starting 11 tonight. See, there's plenty of enthusiasm for the Matilda's champions, and there always is when they play on home soil. And for Mexico, their build-up to what they hope will be qualification for the 2027. Of course, previous Olympic gold medalists in Canada, current gold stage in women's football. As the players wait in the tunnel, it is my pleasure to
Thanks, another wonderful occasion for this team and for a national treasure in Caitlin Ford. It's really exciting, and what a player she is. I think tonight, well, the scene is set really well for Ford to have a game that we know that she can for the ages, and she's more than capable of such an occasion.
So here come the teams out of the tunnel. Mexico will be wearing white tonight in contrast to the green that they wore in Newcastle. And Australia ready to go. Both teams will line up, and we will start by observing the national anthem of Mexico, followed by the national anthem of Australia.
We now ask those who are able to please stand for the national anthem of Mexico. national anthem of Australia.
So pre-match formalities continue with handshakes between the competing teams. Australia's first 15 minutes on Saturday were its best. Will we see a similar fast start? Or will both teams, with the benefit of having only recently faced each other, make major adjustments in how they go about approaching the contest? Hayley Raso, one of the players restored to the starting 11 tonight. Claire Wheeler, the other that comes into the Matildas lineup. Raso having passed 100 caps about a year ago now. A vastly experienced player in this Matildas lineup, still with so much more to give. Mexico, one last drink, a couple of sprints. So Caitlin Foord wearing the captain's armband and carrying the team pennant tonight as the leader of the Matildas for Cap 150. Let's take a look at how the teams line up. Claire Wheeler and Hayley Raso are the two ends, moving Emily Van Egmond and Amy Sayer to the bench. Otherwise, it is full availability for the Matildas squad, with a number of players who did not feature in Game 1 eagerly awaiting the call to emerge in Game 2. Among them, the Julie Dolan medalist Izzy Gomez and the A-League Women's top goal scorer in Holly McNamara. Mexico, by contrast, have made 3 changes from Saturday. The goal scorer, Diana Ordonez, is one of 3 players in, along with Caceres and Nieto, moving Maria Sanchez, Kiana Palacios and Nancy Antonio to the bench. Glenn Montemuro having a word with his assistant coach there, Emily Husband, on the sidelines. How long will the Matildas be able to sustain their best football for, and will it lead to breaking through a sturdy Mexico defence tonight? And Pedro Lopez able to find a way to win for just the second time for Mexico's senior women's team against Australia. Of course, 2 seasons ago, in the 2024 winter, Mexico had a handsome win against Australia in the Women's Under-20 World Cup, so they are starting to bear the fruits of a very promising youth system. One last word in the huddle for the Mexico team. Can they make it a winning double? Or will the likes of Mary Fowler be able to stop them in their tracks? Ellie Carpenter coming off a significant milestone of her own. Tonight is Cap 101. Straight on with the job for Australia's outstanding right wing back. And will it be Caitlin Foord with some words of wisdom for the huddle then? Mexico have broken out into position. The Matildas huddling up for one last word. Sam Kerr having a bit of a pep talk as well. And it's going to be short and sweet. Carla Nieto, one of the 3 players coming into the team today. 70th cap for her tonight from Pachuca, the 31-year-old. So the countdown to kick-off. And a bit of confusion as to who is taking kick-off. It'll be Mexico, attacking the left of your screens. Sydney. And the ball immediately deviated out for a throw-in to get things started. A few a high-scoring contest because Mexico are a team built on defence, and the Matildas are the ones with perhaps the onus to change that and challenge them tonight.
Saturday night's game in Newey. Plenty to improve upon.
The pitch. Face shut down quickly by Rodriguez, who makes amends. Now Espinosa. Reina Reyes coming off a really good defensive performance on Saturday. Clearance only makes its way as far as Caitlin Torpey. And now Mary Fowler in space, surrounded by Mexico opponents, finds Sam Kerr. Back to Fowler. And Kerr back to goal. Caitlin Ford. Early touches for Claire Wheeler. Starting tonight. And the ball runs long.
Or final pass. Early tidy touches, which is important to set the tone, and likewise now just watching the setup of the Matildas, a high press led by Captain Sam Kerr.
Mexico's response, a long ball brought down by Carpenter to the advantage of Kennedy. Now Wheeler back to Steph Catley at the centre of defence. Torpey working with Ford. Catley given space to advance. Torpey's pass finds its way to Fowler, who's going to turn and take the game on. Can't find Kerr as the ball is cleared from the centre of defence. Wheeler, a busy opening to the game. And Ford looking to turn and run. Reina Reyes. As Torpey turns and keeps.
Run from Caitlin Ford. Just finds her way out of pressure. This ball in from Carpenter is excellent. We just need an arrival of the Matildas at the far post. Lacking on that occasion. And equally so, the return from Torpey. Difficult one.
Yeah, now Winona Heatley on the ball. Heatley and Catley, Australia's centre-back pairing, and Mackenzie Arnold in goal. In possession now. Torpy, a pressured pass, finds its way to Catley. And as it's sliced out, it's a chance for us to go down to ground level. Nalin Masto keeping an eye on things. Good evening, Nalin.
Thanks, Tayo. Well, it's been a bright start already for Australia, and the main focus for the Matildas tonight will be about managing the game better, which Joe admitted was a sticking point in the first match. But it ain't going to be easy against this Mexico defence. In May 2025, let's see if the Matildas can have something to say about that tonight.
Thank you, Nalin. We'll keep checking in as the night progresses, but doesn't that set the scene for just how challenging it is to score against this Mexico side? That's exactly what Australia are trying to do. Kennedy with a pass back to Wheeler. Heatley to Carpenter. A little grab at the shirt of Carpenter, just enough to pressure her into going backwards from Saldivar. As Australia switch flanks. Ford working deep into the defensive half. Catley has to battle in a 1-on-2, squeezes the ball out. But it will be an attacking half throw-in for Mexico.
Taking the throw-in, no less. Raina Reyes, their right fullback, the player that caused Caitlin Foord, or gave Caitlin Foord a lot of attention on game one. And already showing some really good attacking options, pressing up the field.
Ordonez just very leisurely leading the press, but now will be brought into the action as possession is spilled. And Ordonez with a shot on target, and Alexia Delgado with the great work to win the ball back. The coach Kerr out to Carpenter. Razzo wants the pass back. Carpenter twisting and turning, and now uses Razzo. Carpenter, Kennedy. Mexico sitting deep in defence, but Kennedy in the pocket here. Not tempted to shoot. A little step over from Kennedy, trying to find a gap. Mexico, their own worst enemy. They can't clear their lines. Ford on the spin! And wouldn't have that been the perfect start to Cap 150 as it flashes just wide.
Well, she's so capable, Caitlin Foord, and that's a good opportunistic moment. Kennedy trying to wriggle her way through, run into danger, and the resulting ricochet falls to Caitlin Foord, who turns really nicely. Gets a nice piece on the strike away as well, and I'll tell you, if that's on target, we may be looking at a very different outcome here. It's a really good start from the Matildas.
40 international goals for Caitlin Foord. Desperate to add to that tally. Lancing header from Ordonez. Not quite bringing Saldivar into play because Carpenter had it covered. Kerr, the layoff, can't connect with Razzo. Hernandez sticking to task. Now Wheeler, a quick 1-2 with Heatley. Mexico setting traps in midfield, forcing Australia to retreat. Kennedy with a quick head check to make sure that she had time. Now Heatley opts to go long. Fowler trying to make a run. Difficult ball to control. Saldivar. Razzo able to intercept the pass and switch flanks. Torpy herring after the ball, but it's going to run on just a little too quick. Number 28 for Caitlin Torpy tonight. We'll be heading back to the second tier of English football, the WSL2, with Newcastle United next club season. Kerr at the edge of the box, appealing for a handball. Tonight's referee, Stacey Pearson of England, not taking an interest. Sandoval not quite able to untangle herself from the challenge of Raso there.
Well, I think Sam Kerr had a fair shout. It was outside the box, but definitely contact to the arm, maybe close enough to the body was the referee's observation. Positioned well.
Down the line from Carpenter as the ball runs long. Has the game settled? 10 minutes in?
Well, maybe just. But we do need to remember that on Saturday night up in Newcastle, the first 15 minutes from the Matildas was very good. Not dissimilar to what we're seeing here. Good intensity.
Barreras in possession. Goalkeeper able to wriggle free in the nick of time. Ordonez's header on. Catley working with Heatley. And the press is going to cause trouble here because Sarah's nearly able to intervene. And Australia scramble the ball away. Defensive shakes at both ends.
Yeah, that is concerning. I was just making the comment that it took about Mackenzie Arnold in goal. They're the moments they really need to iron out.
Espinosa down the right sideline, and the assistant referee is saying that it will be Mexico's throw. Going to try and make it work.
In a flurry of a start, and I think again reflecting on the first game, Mexico got a couple of things really right. One was their press, and we'll see that here from the Matildas' goal kick and the pressure that they apply, and the second was their 1v1 defending, which was excellent across the course of the game.
Heatley back pass, and it's been intercepted. However, running wide is Caceres. Heatley trying to make amends. Caceres looping across. No one there to contest for Mexico from their defensive lines. Wheeler only as far as Bernal. Raso. And now Wheeler trying to be a cool head. And some nervous moments for Australia. Ordonez sensing the chance to press Mackenzie Arnold all the way. Torpy. Now Kennedy. A bit more time on the ball, and Kennedy with a beautiful crossfield pass. Sets Raso away. Carpenter wants to go down the outside. Raso heads to Carpenter. Hernandez with a slide challenge. Raso in a battle here, and well done by Saldivar. And you can see the shirt just stretching a little too far as Raso clung on and conceded a free kick.
That's good from that. They get numbers behind the ball, and this is a really poor moment from Jenny Heatley. A blind pass, making life difficult for Mackenzie Arnold, and again, just little moments gifting opportunities to Mexico.
I'm not sure Caceres necessarily Carpenter. It's Raso. Back to Heatley. quarter to 50-50. Well played by Saldivar. Now Ordonez. Mexico haven't committed too many forward, but one might be enough here. It's a promising run. Just a little bit too much on the ball for Caceres to chase it down.
In game one, it took until the 15-minute mark for Mexico to come back into it. Tonight, I'd say it was around about that 10-minute moment, and Mexico really started to assert themselves on the game. And their defensive shape is really disciplined. They'll allow this first pass, and then you just watch the team shuffle, apply the press, and work really well together, making it difficult to find an easy pass out for the Matildas' defence.
Well, case in point, Wheeler is going to try and make it work. Ford working back with the ball. Catley. And now Kennedy. Facing forward and plays it to Razzo. Razzo sets Fowler a task. It's been shut down. Carpenter will get a second chance. Wheeler. And now Catley. Ellie Carpenter resuming her duel with Saldivar. Razzo, Fowler trying to find half a yard of space. Ford at the edge of the box. Kerr now back to Kennedy. Kennedy tries to clip it forward, blocked immediately. Catley's pass, Kerr. Nicely worked, Wheeler. Ford, back to goal. Wheeler and Fowler here. Fowler can shoot. Fowler strikes and deflected away. Carpenter wants to keep the pressure on immediately. Saldivar comes through with the ball. And now Hernandez. Back to Kimberly Rodriguez. And it's Mexico's turn to feel a bit of pressure in defence. They're going to immediately opt for the long pass and yield possession back to the Matildas. Dropping on Joe Montemuro, saying that Mexico are dropping off. And the Matildas pick their way through a deep defence. Mexico fans finding their voice, trying to rally the visiting team. Wheeler, Heatley. Decision time here for the Matildas. Carpenter. Tries to sprint past Saldivar, turned away. Wheeler to Fowler. Eventually.
Just slotting into those little spaces. I think we're missing a bit in game one.
Pull on that. Find Fowler in that sort of pocket of space is they're trying to create. Unfortunately, this time for the Matildas, things have come unstuck, but no pretensions of a counter-attack from Mexico.
Certainly, Mary Fowler playing a more central role tonight will give her a little bit of freedom just to float in front of the Mexican defensive line, allowing her to get on the ball.
Ford able to bring the ball down nicely, trying to dart away from Rebecca Bernal. Couldn't bring a teammate into play with the pass, though, and now Alexia Delgado. And a shooting chance eventually taken by Rena Reyes, who's telegraphing it for some time, and the Matildas awake to the danger. Hernandez against Carpenter, trying to find a way to beat her one-on-one, but the cross is not effective. Saldivar working with and Reyes has to go and reset inside the defensive half. Forward, he's going to hunt the ball here, forcing a hurried pass from Barreras. And possession given away. Fowler can't quite thread the ball through for Kerr. Out wide to Razzo instead. Kennedy. Razzo. A burst of acceleration, not quite. Rodriguez and Hernandez sticking to task, able to deflect the ball behind for Australia's first corner of the game.
Hernandez was really good on Saturday night. She picked up in exactly where she left off. Again with the 1v1 defending, a number of blocks and intercepts she put in game one, making life difficult for the likes of Hayley Raso, Ellie Carpenter already in game two.
Steph Catley has the option of a short corner to Mary Fowler, and that's where the ball is going. Fowler. Wheeler in. Scores for Australia. And her midfield form continues for Australia as they take a 1-0 lead.
Well, the Alana Kennedy Renaissance recommences here at CommBank Stadium. On Harvey Norman replay, it's a training ground move, a short corner, a little deflection lands on the head of Sam Kerr. Alana Kennedy is on the spot. Opportunistic, makes the most of a spinning, swirling ball. And on this occasion, Mexico's defence can do nothing about that one tumbling into the back of the net. A first half goal, the start the Matildas needed, and momentum needed.
Just want more. Here's Kerr. No time wasted after winning the ball back from the Mexico kickoff. That shot is sliced wide.
Threads the ball through. Kerr facing forward, which, to be fair, we haven't seen much.
And so now Australia can play with the confidence of a lead. About a quarter of the way through the night's action. And it is from an increasingly familiar source of goals, Alana Kennedy. Walking the walk with that confidence there. A great turn to move Australia out of their defensive half. Torpy to forward. And wins a foul from Ordonez. Mid-range free kick for the Matildas.
This is another great chance. Excellent run from Kate. solid steer away from the boot of Barrera's unnecessary stop.
Having just scored from a corner, now Australia have an attacking half set piece to immediately put the Mexico defence under pressure once again. Catley with the free kick. Kennedy with a late run. Defensive header was all important. And eventually the lines are cleared. Caceres had to be there for Mexico. Otherwise it was Kennedy advancing late. Looking at her second of the game. Here's Fowler. Saldivar winning the ball back. Ordonez! Mexico level! And Australia's lead is cancelled out in moments. The Mexico fans in Combank Stadium love it, as does Diana Ordonez, her second goal of this friendly series.
Flags that we saw, and it's Salvador who started the game strong. Ordonez who scored in the first and now a second in the series. Back on level terms, it's a gift, and it's a good finish to the far post.
16th international goal for the 24-year-old from Tigres. The American born and raised, dual national, very much a key part of the Mexico national team.
She played youth football, Ordonez, and the US national teams all the way up until the under-19s. College football at a Division I college, University of Virginia, a good football school, and now on the national team stage. Is an imposing figure up front, Ordonez.
And wins the ball back with the forward press again. Saldivar looking for a way through. Caceres, the player that she was aiming for. The Matildas able to close ranks and win possession. And now, can they flip the field? Fowler to Ford. A couple of Australia's prime movers in action here as Ford breaks into the box. Leaves the ball right on the line. And it was crucial one-on-one defending from Reina Reyes, conceding a corner. Both sets of fans have really come into the game, being treated to a great tussle at the moment. Australia trying to restore their lead. Fowler whips in the corner. Bit of defensive confusion, and it had cleared off the post. Mexico at risk of an own goal there. It was keeper and defender raffling the ball, and it ended up sliding dangerously close to the line.
Yeah, not convincing at all by Barrera. She's committed to it, but got the flight of this entirely wrong. Completely misses contact. A necessary scramble at the far post, steers it away.
And Rebecca Bernal able to put it behind for a corner on the opposite side. Alana Kennedy, Australia's goal scorer, again looms as the danger. No short corner on offer this time. Catley has marked out her run-up. Into the near post, looking for a flick from Ford. And it's turned behind for another corner, and her shadow for the night, Reina Reyes. Of course, there again, and, well, Ford is nonplussed because The referees have decided it's a goal kick rather than another corner. Capitalise. Arnold gets a back pass away in the nick of time. Saldivar. And now Reyes in midfield. Heatley. Carpenter. Razzo having to work backwards. Heatley mindful of the Mexico press. A lot of pressure on Kennedy. Delgado wins the ball. Away and pops the shot over.
Really an Australian error. Rise in. That's a very good opportunity for Mexico.
Delgado, a club teammate of Ordonez at Tigres. 60th cap for her tonight. See the shot count. 12 in the game in the first half an hour. We have been entertained. Another match on offer. And it feels like there's more to come. Wheeler makes the intercept. Australia's turn to win the ball high up the pitch. Fowler. Back to Delgado. Things calming down for a moment at the feet of Kimberly Hernandez. Stefani Barreras, the goalkeeper, outside the penalty area, really for the first time in the game, as part of the build-up play. Here goes Hernandez, little chop pass that runs the wrong way off the turf as far as she was hoping, and splits the middle of the two attackers leading the line.
Well, the first touch by the number 20, Hernandez, was really good, bringing that long driving pass down on the chest. The pass a little less so, but she's continued to be one of...
Calling for the pass, and that left her a step behind as Catley takes care of things. Hernandez with a high hopeful ball. Torpy lost it in flight. And a header wide at the post. Jasmine Caceres, another, well, not even a half chance, a full chance that one after reading the ball best in the air.
A lot of joy on this attacking left-hand side for Mexico. And a delivery that should be more or less a half chance results, as you say, in a full chance. Mackenzie Arnold had that far post covered.
Carpenter with a bustling run. Defenders in tow. And then one last defender, Hernandez, keeps the ball away from Razzo. Kennedy. Wheeler. Carpenter had to hustle to keep Heatley's pass in. Over the head of Kerr. Stefani Barreras daring an Australian to come in and make her pick up the ball. Break the shape. Caitlin Foord is going to keep chasing here with real aggression. And she's been rewarded here. Australia win the free kick.
Well, it's a hustle of Caitlin Foord that we so often see. Good use of the body. You can see as clear as anything. The foul that's brought her to ground.
Free kick taken quickly, whipped in. Scooping to the header to clear away. Raso really hurried there by the press of Caceres. Carpenter. And now Claire Wheeler. Carpenter. Raso, one-on-one. Cuts inside. Hayley Raso. The crowd rise. Return touch from Torby. And now the ball breaks. Ordonez here, one-on-one against Heatley, and Heatley stands up and wins the ball away. Vital from Winnie Heatley. Now Wheeler's turn to win the ball. Advantage given Australia's way. Raso wiped out. And the referees put the whistle away. Sam Kerr's shot hit the post, and it may well go down as an own goal for the keeper, Estefani Barreras, as it deflected in off her back.
Harvey Norman replay, a really big moment. The relentlessness of Ellie Carpenter that we see time and time again. This time she gets an early delivery into the box. Arriving with a well-timed run is Sam Kerr. And you can see as Sam Kerr just nips in from behind her defender. She gets the first touch. Yes, the deflection in the end, but she won't mind too much. It's on target. It's a good finish. The Tildas have their lead.
Play for Mexico to shake out here. They're looking for another response. They've scored one equaliser in quick time already. Could they make it two? As that shot is clipped out. Kerr's shot hits the post, and the goalkeeper is very unlucky. There's nothing Estefani Barreras can do about it, but unfortunately, without that touch off her, it doesn't go in for a goal.
Yeah, spot on. It won't be another goal for Australia's all-time leading goal scorer, Sam Kerr. But safe to say, it's as close to hers as any. Herrera's a disappointing moment.
And so Mexico have sparked to life once again. Torpy reads the header well. Ordonez. Delgado stuck under the ball. Through comes Hernandez. Carpenter getting it done at both ends. Able to get to the ball and clear it away from the danger of Caceres out for a corner kick.
Heat map on this near side of the field. Defensively for Australia, in attack for Mexico. They're opening up this passage time and time again. Some really good combinations. It's put into work the likes of Carpenter, Heatley, Wheeler working hard to plug the gaps. Raso busy.
Well, covering the mouth at the Men's World Cup will be illegal under new FIFA rules coming in, but you can do it in a corner kick at a friendly, I guess. One to watch out for over the next month or so. Here is the corner. What plans were Mexico hatching? Delgado. Saldivar, first time cross. Nodded back into the danger area. Delgado, spread at the keeper. Mackenzie Arnold makes the save. And a bit of an altercation off the ball there. Catley and Ordonez coming together. Here's Carpenter. Now Raso. Carpenter. Razo trying to escape Nicolette Hernandez. The one-on-one duels in this game, characteristic of how Mexico love to play, how they love to defend. Ford, able to roll and face here, plays it through the left. Kerr to Fowler, the Matildas looking fluid. And the shot from Kennedy over the bar.
Well, the Asian Cup was proof that Alana Kennedy, if there was any doubt, can hit them from that range. And it was good fluid play as well. Nice 1-2 touch football from Kerr to Fowler. The resulting touch to Kennedy just outside the 18-yard box. That's certainly in her wheelhouse.
Fowler finds Ford. 3 defenders closing ranks. Here's Wheeler trying to capitalise. And it's palmed around the post by Barreras. And you know that if Caitlin Ford's in a 1-on-3, there'll be someone free somewhere, and it was Claire Wheeler this time.
Well, she's been a really positive contribution to tonight's game already, Claire Wheeler. A couple of questions of her absence on Saturday night in Newcastle. Didn't get the opportunity. A hometown game. Joe confirmed before kickoff that she was a little bit unwell, but she does not look off the pace whatsoever tonight.
Fowler drifts in a corner. The volley is going to slide wide. Wheeler once again. goal right there. Charlie Rule has come on for Winnie Heatley as the only switch at half-time from either team.
Thanks, Teo, and a straight swap. So Rule in for Heatley, who change. So we'll just keep an eye on tactically to see if there are any other shifts into this second half.
And Rule is going to have to chase here because Mexico have stolen a march. Torpy with contact, and the referee, who was definitely on the lenient side in the first half, sees nothing untoward about how Jasmine Caceres was taken to ground. And given that Mexico are now attacking towards their fans behind the goal in the second half, they're making plenty of noise about it.
Well, first of all, this is a wonderful ball from Saldivar. There's contact shoulder to shoulder. Torpy, perhaps not enough, or certainly the referee has said not enough on her watch. But that's a very, very good chance for Mexico. The ball across the Matildas' defensive line was excellent.
Another angle. Of course, Australia, the Socceroos, played Mexico in a men's friendly just over a week ago where there was a red card incident that wasn't. And the referee applied perhaps friendlier rules than a full-blown competitive game. But the moment has passed. No VAR, of course, for this friendly series. Torpy takes the throw in here. Mexico through Delgado. Caceres with the ball at her feet now, not for long. Ford scuffs it away. Kerr starting at the halfway line, looking to play Razzo. And Razzo using her speed, but it's not enough to worry Rodriguez, who turns out of trouble and has Hernandez in assistance. And now Saldivar is able to evade Carpenter and find Mexico's goal scorer from the first half, Ordonez. And as the ball deflects out, it's a chance to check in with Nalin Masto, who's got a word on what the chat has been at halftime.
Yeah, thanks, Teo. Well, the halftime chat for the Aussies was mostly centred around capitalising on the moments in possession, but I have been closely observing Joe Montemurro here on the sidelines in that first half. He was visibly frustrated with the Matildas coughing up possession in their own defensive half. He's been urging them to just continue scanning, but from an attacking standpoint, it's clear that they've switched up their approach.
Greta Espinosa picking up a yellow card here for the foul on Caitlin Ford, dragging her down.
Deeming that to be the only way to slow Ford down in that moment. First yellow card produced of the game.
Thank you to Nalin for giving us that update of what's been coming off the sideline from Joe Montemurro and Matilda's coaching staff. Here's Rule. 7th cap tonight for the 23-year-old former Sydney FC player. Razzo into the middle. Mary Fowler trying to turn away once, twice from Rebecca Bernal, and what a passing range to find Torpy. And now Ford rolls wide. Caitlin Ford jinking on the ball, hugging the line. The cutback. Kennedy blocked away by her own teammate, it seems. Ellie Carpenter took the full force of the ball in the midriff. And Alana Kennedy goes to check on her fallen teammate.
Well, it's not often you see Ellie Carpenter go down in wreathing pain, but she is not comfortable at all. She's an absolute warrior of a player, but not happy about this one. And Caitlin Ford's done really well to keep the ball in play. Good leave by Kerr. And the approach in Kennedy, well, it has absolutely collected Carpenter through the side. No doubt taken the wind out of her, which has caught that on the ribcage. And she is in some discomfort.
Alana Kennedy was lining up her second goal of the night, struck it with some ferocity. And unfortunately, both in terms of scoring and a potential injury here, Ellie Carpenter is still winded and in the hands of trainers. So Carpenter back on her feet. It's going to take something significant to knock her out of a game. As we know, she lost 12 months of her career prior to the 2023 Women's World Cup with a torn ACL suffered on the stage of a Champions League final when she was at Lyon. You might remember that it didn't stop the celebration. She hobbled out onto the field on crutches to celebrate Lyon's win in that particular game, and she makes her way around the sideline. A thumbs up from the trainers to the bench. So Australia temporarily down to 10 players, but it seems not for very long as Carpenter returns to the game.
On the opposite side of the pitch, Sam Kerr got a little too much attention, deemed the referee. Led to this free kick, a good set-piece attacking chance. Good numbers lining up on the edge of the 18-yard box for the Matildas.
Played short to Carpenter. And now Fowler. Mary Fowler with a strike. Always lifted a little too high.
Mary Fowler, she's certainly capable from that sort of range.
Australia on top through almost 7 minutes of the second half so far. In the lead and seemingly in control of general play. Rule leans into a header. Slide to clear. Wheeler. Cantley's back pass. Arnold. First time clearance. And it finds safe passage in Caitlin Foord. Kennedy calls for the ball. Carpenter exploding forward. Back up and running Ellie Carpenter. Now Razzo veering in from the wing. Trademark Hayley Razzo. And Kennedy ran through Razzo right at the last second. Just perhaps when she was thinking about a shot, but there will be a free kick for Australia to stay on the attack.
That's a really productive run by Hayley Razzo. A little wry smile, undoubtedly, to her teammate. Just the moment here where Alana Kennedy, well, she thought about the strike. She was winding up, as was Razzo.
Quickly taken free kick. I think Australia are going to get a second bite at the cherry here, rather than give the ball away. Referee Stacey Pearson of England, part of an officiating crew entirely from the UK. The two Joes watch on from the sideline. We haven't got a ball. Don't forget, the Winter Festival of Football has the Ninja A-League All-Stars back in action. Chelsea, the visiting team, this time on Wednesday, the 12th of August. You can watch it right here where you're watching tonight on Paramount+. Coaching staff announced this week. Jeff Hopkins of Melbourne Victory in charge, but with assistant coaches from all around the league. Here's Catley with the free kick. Kerr. And then straight into the gloves of the goalkeeper, Barreras. Mexico not able to venture any further forward after Wheeler stood up and won the ball. A surprising run, and she'll get a second chance. Foord. Fowler. Back to Foord. Kerr contesting. Cleared high. Espinosa, and up and under. And Kerr saved away. Barreras at close range. Torpy trying to trap the ball. Charlie Rule. And eventually the passing move comes unstuck.
There's a lot to unpack in that last couple of moments. Sam Kerr looking to turn and shoot on side. A good smothering save from Barreras, who had closed down the angle really well.
Great anticipation from Razzo. Kerr in the middle. It's going to slide on for Foord. Side netting. Went forward on the impossible angle.
Well, it's tauntingly close. It's really good anticipation by Hayley Raso. And Kerr is in a great position. The ball just skips past her. And at the far post, Caitlin Foord can't wrap her boot back around to put that ball into a dangerous position. But there's some good signs from the Matildas.
Now firmly on top. Can they turn it into a 2-goal buffer? Add to their half-time lead. Catley. Reyes. Working backwards. Espinoza to Barreras. Now Catley wins the header. Torpy and Wheeler. Foord inside to Torpy. And Rule back to Mackenzie Arnold. Arnold up the middle. Wheeler made a late contest, but Mexico able to win possession. Caceres inside. And now flashing out to the right. Rebecca Bernal, first time cross. Can she find Ordonez? Well, it bowled her over. The first touch was lacking from the Mexico forward. And Australia pick up the pieces. And is that the little swing in momentum Mexico need? They've barely worked into the game so far in the second half. Kerr. Back to Wheeler. Carpenter. And now Raso dispossessed. Kennedy. Mexico win the ball back. Ordonez. Setting Caceres a task. Isolated and surrounded by opponents. And eventually nicked away by Caitlin Torpy. Brenda Reyes to take the throw in. Fowler back helping out the defence. It's going to get pushed over here by Reyes, and Mexico resume control. Nieto to the edge of the box. And Fowler clears the lines. Kimberly Rodriguez. Saldivar has gone quiet. Much like Mexico's attack in this second half. A back pass here could be dangerous. Ordonez cuts it across. And Catley in to save the day, putting it behind for a corner.
It's a picture we've seen not for the first time this evening. A tall back pass, a narrow one, and it puts Mackenzie Arnold in a very, very difficult position. Catley retreating with what is, in the end, a crucial clearance.
And you can see the Mexico fans behind the goal. Great noise and colour for the visiting team. Can the players answer the cries? Here comes the corner. To the edge and then outside the penalty area. And the foul. Rule knocks over her opposing centre-back in Kimberly Rodriguez. So do Mexico have something clever from the set piece. A corner followed by a free kick. Alexia Delgado standing solo over the ball. Delgado not wasting any time. And catching practice for Mackenzie Arnold. Fowler. Catley to Torpy. Torpy taking on Saldivar. Now forward. Kennedy in space. Kennedy cleverly around one opponent. Now cutting back to Foord. Foord waiting. deflected attempt. And Hernandez clears away. Ordonez moving out to the wing. Only one player to aim for in Caceres, and Carpenter stopped the ball from arriving. On the way back to Mackenzie Arnold. We've passed the hour mark. No activity near the fourth official just yet. We've only seen the one sub in the game so far. Charlie Rule coming on for Winona Heatley at half-time. Ford, the step over, knew that Torpey would be making the run. And the return ball here for Caitlin Ford. Ford runs onto an acute angle, cutting it across. Razzo can't make ground. Delgado back in the nick of time. Rodriguez clears to the sideline. Ordonez brings it down. Mexico neatly worked, and now they have a player in space. Carla Nieto in central midfield. Sends it out to Saldivar. The ball held up on the turf. Torpey made it difficult. A crunching challenge. And it has felled Montserrat Saldivar.
Was that contact? Oh, malice behind it. Intended by Torpey, but a really sore one. And you can see just the little slip as she went and did make contact with the ball. And her trailing knee just clattering into the leg of Saldivar, and those ones hurt. Good to see she's back to her feet. She's been really good tonight, Saldivar.
Well, Mexico have switched the flanks that their wingers are playing on, because Saldivar has come over to the right side as Mexico see it, having played on the left on the near side to the touchline in the first half. Kennedy. A sweeping ball out to Carpenter, and Carpenter has the engines. Carpenter taking on Hernandez, and too close to the keeper. A good catching claim from Barreras.
A little hand of apology from Ellie Carpenter, but it's those passes, the release from Alana Kennedy. Just one touch, the second touch is a beautiful diagonal pass into space to find Carpenter. Doesn't have the shape on that delivery that it needed.
Mexico trying to exploit some open space here. Saldivar, the return ball. Ordonez can't make ground. It is end-to-end at the moment.
It is so open at the moment. There's sort of no chance for either side to recalibrate. Just take a minute and get their shape back, and it's really stretching the field, asking a lot from the depth and the engines of these players.
Kennedy. Fowler. A blind pass intercepted by Hernandez. And now Mexico consolidate at the centre of defence. They're going to take a breather on the ball here as Australia stand off. Rebecca Bernal. Rodriguez. And Caceres clipped. And Charlie Rule has committed a foul here. Is it going to be accompanied by a card? It is.
Yeah, that's the right call from the referee. Last line of defence. Not the last player, but last line of defence indeed. Charlie Rule just taking her opponent to ground, and it's really the first moment in the last few minutes that we've just had this collective chance to catch our breaths, and Mexico have a great opportunity with this set piece.
Australia's first yellow card and the second one shown in the game. Serious scrap and cleared away. Bernal and Ordonez were trying, but neither of them could will it forward. And Australia able to repel, and now Hernandez has been caught in possession by Razzo. Kerr ahead of the ball. Razzo decelerates, plays the cross, and it's going to loop into the gloves of the goalkeeper. It could have been so much more.
Well, the hunting pack of Rasso and Kerr. This is a great ball. A really good quality delivery into a very dangerous area. Makes it tough for Arnold. And such a scrap. Body's congestion. Hard to get a meaningful clearance. In the end, the Matildas do. The resulting chance. A very good one.
Good reffing. Ford kept her arms out of the way and it deflected off the torso. No arm involved. Wheeler's up and under header. And as the ball runs out, Torpy takes the throw in quickly. Mexico have a quadruple sub waiting in the wings. Ford back to Catley. Kennedy. Holly McNamara and Letitia McKenna have just taken the substitutes bibs off for Australia and are making their final preparations to come on. The Melbourne City duo. Ford, in the meantime, conceding ground with a pass to Arnold. Torpy. And Wheeler to Ford. And as the ball runs out, we can exhale. Nalin Masto down on the sideline. We're about to see a swathe of substitutions and activity, but what else are you hearing and seeing?
Well, Taylor, there's way more productivity on the right-hand side of the attack for the Matildas. Joe seems to be asking his players to ping the ball out wide. Every time Hayley Rasso is on the ball, the instruction is clear: accelerate. The attacking load is shared in this match compared to Saturday night, where it felt like everything positive was coming through Caitlin Ford on the left. It's just to keep Mexico guessing. So let's see if the Matildas can hold on to their lead or perhaps even extend it in the second half.
Thank you, Nalin. It's almost like both teams have collectively calmed things down, at least for a brief moment. Torpy here, Mexico advancing numbers and winning the ball back. Reina Reyes, things springing back to life. Saldivar against Wheeler. And Wheeler, a stand-up tackle that knocks the ball away.
Yeah, great defence from Claire Wheeler. And we spoke about the 1v1 defending from Mexico on Saturday. She's had some top moments, Wheeler. Closing down the space, and Reina Reyes, another unforgiving player.
He's passed to Kerr. Ford blocked. Saldivar. Only two players ahead of the ball. And they're well contained by the Australia defence. Hernandez, can she pick out Ordonez? Done by Nieto. Ordonez up for the header. Danger not yet averted. Hernandez crashes in. Spinning and turning and facing Carpenter. And the ball clipped on. Hernandez. Hopeful shouts for a handball. The referee right on the scene. Delgado. And a misplaced pass opens the door for Australia. And then Kennedy gives the ball to Hernandez. Caceres digging deep. Carpenter held her feet. Nellie Carpenter wins a throw in for Australia.
Well, moments of desperation from Carpenter. And that level of intensity, just over 20 minutes to play. So important now for the Matildas to hold on to this lead.
Fowler. So many players around the ball. Fowler couldn't find a way through. Torpy with a great challenge and now a bursting run forward. Torpy slides it to Ford. Ford being held. Able to shake off and score! Caitlin Ford has her moment in Cat 150. The goal these Matildas fans have been craving. And Caitlin Caitlin Foord caps her milestone game with a great strike.
It's a big moment for a big player. And on the Harvey Norman replay, it's a blistering run from Caitlin Torpey. The delivery, the timing of the pass is exceptional. It should have been a penalty, but the relentless Caitlin Foord will not be denied. A momentous occasion for a momentous player. And it's beautifully taken. A swivel on the spot, picks out the far post. And it's a deserving finish for none other than Caitlin Foord in game number 150 for the Matildas.
She scored in her first cap. She scores in cap 150, a 41st international goal for Caitlin Foord. And perhaps the doubts that the Women's Asian Cup final can become a distant memory because she scored for the Matildas again. We are going to see a hub of activity on the sidelines. Mexico have made their 4 substitutions. Sam Kerr's number is up here, and she'll be replaced by Holly McNamara, while Hayley Raso will come off here as well, and Leticia McKenna will enter the game. Mexico have brought on Kenty Robles, Charlyn Corral, Kiana Palacios, and Alice Soto as their quadruple change. But Grace, what about the double sub for Australia?
Well, first of all, a well-worked game by both Hayley Raso and Sam Kerr. Great to see Holly McNamara with some minutes. Great to see Leticia McKenna back on the field for the Matildas. And for Mexico as well, a quadruple change of those 4 players. Just 1 a defender, 3 attacking players, which sends the intent from this side. We want to get back into this game. A steeper hill to climb now with that 3rd goal for Australia.
And as you can see on your screens, the players that have come off will stay with Kennedy. Things are rolling downhill here. McKenna and now Fowler. Looking for Kennedy inside the box. It's cleared away. Claire Wheeler. Ellie Carpenter. Opening up a bit of space for Fowler to move into. Carpenter went for the underlapping run, but Delgado was clever. So the 4 players that made way: Reina Reyes, Jasmine Caceres, Carla Nieto, and Montserrat Saldivar. There is Alice Soto, one of the 4 players that came on. Kenty Robles in the number 2. 9, Charlyn Corral, who you can see there. Kiana Palacios in the number 10. And Alice Soto in the number 11. Australia in a 3-1 lead. And really in the groove in this second half. They've been creative, they've been prolific in terms of creating chances. And now if they can convert, perhaps there are more goals on offer. Charlie Rule, Carpenter, back to Wheeler. Carpenter, looking for Holly McNamara. McNamara veers away from the penalty area, working with Carpenter. Lifts in across, Foord under the ball, and a good hand from Barreras to save the day and clear.
Yeah, very important touch from Barreras. Matildas with momentum at the moment. There's a little passage just a couple of minutes ago where the ball travelled across the face of the 18-yard box. This is another good look at the goal. And some passion behind the finish for Foord. Joey Montemuro celebrates on the sideline. The moments earlier, ball across the face of the 18. I thought Alana Kennedy could have shot. I thought Leticia McKenna could have shot. It opened up really nicely. But in control at the moment.
Might have overheard Joe Montemuro there saying, if you want to come off, tell me. And it was to Steph Catley, who was down near the sideline within earshot. Kennedy clips the ball into the air. Now up for the header. McNamara, great first touch. Back to McKenna. And now Carpenter. Out to the right for Mary Fowler. Fowler fashions across. McNamara, first touch not there that time. McKenna nearly stops the ball leaving the penalty area. And Wheeler. Hernandez, a back pass. Rodriguez clearing away. Letitia McKenna, lots of touches fresh off the bench. Was Torpy interfered with? No, says the referee. And the clearance to Palacios. And a switch of flank over to Ordonez. Still full of running. Diana Ordonez wants her right side, and it's shut down by Charlie Rule, who never gave her an angle.
She's been solid since coming on, Charlie Rule. But Diana Ordonez, what a player she is. An imposing figure. She's just shy of 6 foot. She's fast, she's mobile. She's been a real joy to watch tonight.
To Mexico have another surge in them. As the quadruple sub bedded in with still plenty of time on the clock. Australia with a 2-goal buffer. Barreras to Rodriguez. Down the left sideline. Appeals for offside, and they will be heeded as the flag goes up. Charlene Corral getting trapped offside. Corral, 85th cap tonight, the 34-year-old from Pachuca. 46 international goals. And Pedro Lopez will be hoping that perhaps that tally can be added to before the night is out. Palacios, and now Delgado. Bustling run from Robles. And Mexico have another change coming. It's going to be Maria Sanchez, the 30-year-old from Tigres, and she's coming on for her clubmate, Diana Ordonez. So that chance on goal, which was blocked away by Charlie Rule, was Ordonez's last involvement in the game. Grace, a thought on the Mexico goal scorer as she takes her lead?
Well, excellent. I think she's been excellent tonight. I think she's been difficult for the Matildas to contain.
So Maria Sanchez in the number 7 shirt comes on. Here goes Holly McNamara. Showing her speed, showing her endurance as she sprints down the sideline. And now cuts it back to Caitlin Ford. Here's Torpy. Cantley. Cleared by Robles. McNamara will be first to the ball here. Ford holds off the challenge of Palacios. And tried to steer a pass through 3 Mexico players.
Be careful about coming it out. Protect his front one. Yep.
Pass into midfield. Right. Slide tackle from Wheeler. Lunging after the ball and deflecting it to Australian feet. Kennedy just looking a little sore, a little proppy in midfield. It may be.
A couple of players to keep an eye on. Kennedy looking a little sore, as is Wheeler.
The back post traps the ball. Now a battle for possession. Goes She's in a one-on-one duel here against Palacios. McKenna, nice pass to Tor. Wheeler back, tracking, finds Arnold. A scooped clearance, Kennedy made a presence. Mexico won the header. Kennedy able to
half and second half. An open game, transitional, a lot of running. For the Matildas draws her level alongside Kate Gill.
For
Gill.
Forward to McNamara, and a last-ditch challenge. McNamara, and a last-ditch challenge comes in from Rodriguez to put the ball behind. You'd have to say that's a goal-saving tackle.
Again, 1v1 defending, excellent from Mexico. The time in the desperation behind those actions has been evident both the first.
1,441 fans that have come along to CommBank Stadium tonight have been rewarded with a compelling contest that's never let up. Very few down patches. And they're not satisfied with the 3 goals. They want more goals. They want more. Steph Catley with the corner. Over to Rodriguez. She's going to pick out Sanchez. Maria Sanchez. First real involvement for her. The most recent Mexico sub. Hernandez. Good wing play from Sanchez. A deflected cross. Steered it away from danger and into the safe hands of Mackenzie Arnold.
It's a real test now for the Matildas. This is all part of preparation, of learning. This is a friendly, yes, but results really dictate and help inform world rankings, which veers into draws and pots around World Cups. So as much
pass is intercepted by Palacios. And now Soto. Delgado. Back to Espinoza. Here's Bernal. Delgado. Now possession is spilled. It's cleared away from Corral. It's cleared away from Corral. And McKenna is fouled. Of course, it's a big night for Letitia McKenna, her first international at home. She scored an international debut in
clever use of the body.
see a double change here for Australia. Mary Fowler will receive an ovation. Big call up for Murphy, the 20-year-old, hadn't played for Australia since the friendly against Panama. In Perth in July. Sub for Australia. And Remy Simpson is still hunting a first international goal. So even though it's only Swedish club Rosengard so far during the Swedish season, which is in season as opposed to Alana Murphy, who's now in the off.
Opportunity to play in front of family and friends, and there's some really familiar faces around her too.
Looks like Letitia McKenna has gone perhaps into a front three role, or maybe just a false nine with Simpson and Ford as a front two. And another change coming. Jamila Rankin is going to come on here and replace Caitlin Torpey. Torpey is nominally a right footer playing as a left back in this Australian team, and the left-footed Rankin is going to come on. Series back in April. And Rankin comes on here for cap number 10. And the good news for Rankin is she's been getting full 90s for
important minutes likewise for Rankin after a really good performance. Game.
Show us 10 minutes, 15 minutes of stoppage. Let's see more of the bench play. It's a stoppage. Let's see more of the bench players.
Izzy Gomez still an unused sub on the bench.
Of course, we had no stoppage in the first half. The referee blew right on 45 minutes and 5 seconds. So interesting to see how many minutes are added on in about a minute's time. CONCACAF World Cup qualifying to go and play in the remaining window. Australia's going to be a pretty important part of their preparation to try and make sure they get there.
Remain a maximum of 13 games that this team has together before next year's World Cup.
Here's Maria Sanchez with the free kick. Plenty of elevation on the ball and a header which tails away Rebecca Bernal.
A really important part of this Mexico setup.
Here we go, 4 additional. They've got a great record here at CommBank. They do enjoy coming here. midfield pass is asking a lot here. A great sprint from the sub Robles, and she just couldn't beat the line.
Not for lack of trying. And that's certainly been the intensity we've seen from Mexico, not just tonight, Saturday night as well. A really enjoyable footballing team. High pressure, high press. It's challenged the Matildas.
Rankin's pass, Seamson. Not able to reconnect with Caitlin Ford. Sam Kerr and the other subs. Another camp in the books, and the value of that is important for the ones that haven't played. We are watching where next potentially for Holly McNamara, Izzy Gomez, even Tisha McKenna, who has had a great season at Melbourne City in the Ninja A League. But it is the European off-season, so you just never know who might be knocking on the door and trying to take these talents to far-flung corners of the globe. Mexico might be a destination. Here's Corral.
Should be a destination, as it is for and Gilnick, who has been spending
Genial. Australia femenil 3, México femenil